Greetings everyone, I am Sandalwood99, and welcome to the first episode of our Mansions of Madness playthrough. We're going to be doing the new DLC scenario, and I have 3 investigators here. I've got my personal favorite, Joe Diamond, the private investigator, seen here with a shovel. We got Sister Mary with her King James Bible and the Elder Ward. And over here we have the researcher Mandy Thompson with the Wither spell and the candles. Those are the items given to us at the start of the scenario, and we're just about to set up. The entry hall is lined with cabinets holding expensive baubles. Our footsteps clatter loudly on the tile. A chalk outline on the floor is surrounded by blood splatters. A cat sits next to one of the larger blood splats, staring intently at the ceiling. A key dangles from its collar. One of the cabinet doors is ajar. The hall continues further into the house. This door has a small plaque that reads, Ballroom. And this door leads to the front lounge of the mansion. A loud thud from underneath the house breaks the silence, causing the floors of the house to briefly vibrate. The cat immediately leaps from its position, streaking off into the room to your left. So, with our first investigator, who will be Mandy Thompson, she is going to move forward to examine the outline of the body. She's a fairly logical, reasonable person, and she's here to investigate a murder. So she takes a movement action here. She knocked over Joe Diamond as she went. And because she's here for free, she can reveal this. So she now sees that a large rug is spread over the wooden floor. The hall continues like this. Some extra doors. The paneling on this door is disorienting. An iron silhouette of a book has been hung on this door. Whispering comes from behind this door. So, having only used one of her movement, Mandy could continue down the hallway. However, as we said, she's here to solve a murder. And so she decides to examine the body, which is interacting with this token here. She scans over the site to try to discern any information. It's an observation test, and Mandy is quite good at observation. It's a 5. So we'll go ahead and roll that. Well, that's 1 success and 1 investigation. Because she's in range of Sister Mary, she'll go ahead and use her once per round ability. Investigator may convert an investigation to a success. So we'll go ahead and tell the app that we got 2 successes. Judging by the amount of blood, the victim likely died in the entry hall. You also notice that the chalk outline's right arm stops at the elbow. Mandy gains the forensic evidence, unique asset, and the search icon is discarded. It's a shame she didn't gain any clues, since Mandy gains 2 clues, or an extra clue every time she does. Well, Joe Diamond's going to go first, and he certainly noticed the key hanging on that cat's neck, so he's going to follow the cat. So that's 1 movement action to get here with the leftover movement. Then he's going to explore here through this doorway. The lounge is filled with comfortable furniture. A loud crash splits the silence of the house, and a blur streaks across the floor. The shards of a vase dot the floor, and 2 glowing eyes watch you from the shadows under the chair. Something belonging to the deceased has been left out on the table. It's a holy cross. a large portrait of the victim hangs over a table on which smaller framed pictures are arranged. In the back corner of the room, a door leads further into the mansion. So it also gave us one free movement into the explored area, and with Joe Diamond's extra movement, he'll go ahead and head down here to where the cat is hiding underneath the chair. I just have to catch it next turn. Meanwhile, Sister Mary is going to head right through the door right there into what I believe was labeled the ballroom. The limited furniture in the ballroom has been placed against the walls. In the center of the room, strange runes have been painted on the floor, and a small altar has been constructed. The hilt of a dagger can be seen just beneath the piano. There is a door on the far side of the room. So she also got a free movement into the explore area, and then with her second action, she'll go ahead and head over here. Now it is the mythos phase, so we'll tell the app that the investigator phase is over, and we'll see what happens. The most painful and traumatic memories of Joe Diamond's past boil unbidden to the front of his mind. Joe Diamond suffers 2 face-down horror with his willpower negating. So, something about chasing down this cat reminds him of some horrible thing he had to do in his childhood. I don't know, he had that uncle always made him get the cat out from underneath the table because he was small enough to climb under there or something. I don't know. But we're going to do a will check. So Joe Diamond has a will of 3. Looking for 1 success here. That's 2. Well, that's actually what he needed, because it was 2 damage. So he prevented both the damage and is fine. Meanwhile, the giggling of a young child can be heard within the house. Heavy footfalls race over the hardwood floors, and the door to the ballroom swings open and then closed, though no figure can be seen. Each investigator in the entry hall and ballroom suffers 1 face-down horror with their willpower negating. So that'll be both the lovely ladies here doing will checks to prevent horror damage. So Sister Mary has a will of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I dropped that die. She only needs 1 success though. Boom, she got it. Alright, we're going to go Mandy Thompson has a will of 3, also looking for 1 success. She did not get it. So that is 1 face-down horror. Well, that's understandable. That was pretty scary. I mean, that door just opened and closed for no apparent reason. One of the tablecloths sways, though there is no draft in the room. Then the giggling continues intermittently under the table. You believe you know why a patrol officer, hastened to finish their work. So Joe Diamond is here with the cat. When I tap on the cat in the app, I get 2 options. One of them is befriend the cat, and the other is catch the cat. Now, I have done this scenario once, and the befriend the cat was an influence test, so I suspect catch will be agility, and I feel confident in attempting that. So, agility -1 is 4 for Joe. Gee whiz! He failed. Wow, I don't even think that's worth a clue. The cat hisses loudly and claws extended, takes a swipe at you. Suffer 1 face-down damage with a full agility negating. Yeah, well, that's fine. See, I wish I could have got that roll right there. Fucking would have been better. Then the cat flees to another room in the house. Well, feeling defeated from that, Joe turns around to follow the cat as it leaves the room, and decides he's going to head over here. There's a painting of the victim here and a door out of the mansion. Joe Diamond's a staunch atheist. He doesn't need this holy cross. So Mandy Thompson, who just witnessed that spooky sort of door-opening thing, decides first to give a quick glance in this half-opened cabinet. A strange statuette in the shape of a winged, tentacled creature takes up most of the cabinet. The bottom shelf of the cabinet is a small row of books with various arcane titles. This is what we were looking for last time. Mandy gains a clue, which is 2 clue tokens for her. So she's up to 3. The search token is discarded. Actually, it says the door to the cabinet slams shut, narrowly missing your hand. Then it tells us to discard it. So now feeling slightly creeped out at what just happened there, that's 2 doors slammed shut at once, she decides she'll go ahead and at least follow it. Perhaps there was someone moved very quickly and she didn't see. So she heads in here, where Sister Mary is waiting. Now, Sister Mary has seen these runes, the works of these devil worshippers, and she's gonna investigate it. You try to make sense of this setup by interpreting the symbology. It's a puzzle using lore. Sister Mary has a lore of 4, so I get 4 moves on the puzzle. Well, I used up both of Mary's actions attempting that puzzle. It was one of those mastermind symbology puzzles, and I'm usually pretty good at those, but this one is tricky. So I haven't completed it in 8 moves, and that was her entire turn. So we'll go ahead and tell the app that it is the mythos phase. There is an evil presence here, perhaps quite near, maybe just behind you, where you will never see it strike. There's no immediate effect. So Sister Mary's going to have another go at trying to disrupt this evil ritual. So I actually only needed 1 more guess there to solve it. But though the particular importance of the symbols in the western quadrant of the circle escape you, you believe that the ritual performed here was used to channel some great power. The word cellar is mixed in with the arcane script over and over again. Sister Mary gains the ritual components unique item and a clue token. So, having solved at least partially, the mystery of what that ritual was, Sister Mary decides to use her King James Bible to allow Mandy Thompson to discard the face-down horror she's suffering. Now on Mandy's turn, she uses her first action to move here, and her second action to interact with this search token. You begin to raise the tablecloth, and a child's scream, twisted and amplified, sounds from beneath the table. You try to ignore the way it thrums down into your bones. She has to do a will check. Alright, I know I wasn't filming, but I literally just rolled those. So it's 1 success and 2 investigation. I think she'll spend 1 clue token, and we'll tell the app she got 2 successes. Taking a deep breath, you finish lifting the tablecloth. A spectral child kneels on the floor beneath the table, his mouth hanging open at unnatural angles. His right arm is missing below the elbow, and the right sleeve of his shirt has been pinned up. So we can scream back, attack the ghost, or ask him what's wrong. And, we're definitely going to ask him what's wrong. So the app tells us to replace this search token with this person token. The screaming stops abruptly, and the ghost boy cautiously crawls out from under the table. The spectral boy stares at you. He gestures toward you, then to the ritual site in the ballroom, pantomiming something large and clearly trying to communicate. Before you can question him, his eyes roll back in his head, he dissents his jaw, and then flicks out of existence. Mandy gains the incriminating evidence, unique item, and a clue, which we already know when Mandy gains a clue, she gains an additional one. Joe Diamond's here, having just followed the cat. He stops to take a look at the pictures, the paintings, the portraits of our deceased. The framed pictures document rare moments in the deceased's life, from boyhood to adulthood. You notice the deceased is missing his right arm below the elbow, but something else seems strange about the photos. Joe has to do an observation test. Unfortunately, even though Joe likes to call himself a private eye, he's really more of a fighter than a real detective. Joe Diamond has an observation of 3. So that's 2 successes. Joe realizes 2 things at once. First, that the deceased has been missing his right arm below the elbow since he was a toddler, and second, that his parents have been conspicuously absent by his teenage years. By then he appears to be wearing an amulet, the same amulet his mother wears in photos from his childhood. The painted portrait of him in his older years also has the amulet rendered in loving detail. The amulet depicts a wave motif surmounting a green stone. A raised detail in the shape of a star has been added to the amulet in later photos. Joe Diamond gains the photographic evidence, unique item. Joe decides to explore further into the mansion. The library is filled with row after row of shelved books. A bright, cheerful reading lamp is in the corner. Then the books come whirling, one after one, towards your head. Suffer 3 face-down damage with agility negating. Now this is Joe Diamond style again. Joe Diamond has an agility of 5 to dodge these books. Boom, no damage taken. The shelves are now almost completely empty of books. Perhaps you could figure out what happened. On top of the mountain of fallen books is one that looks useful. The medical textbook. Though most of the library was relatively upset, the reading area was left unscathed, and an old scroll there catches your eye. It's the shriveling spell. The cat grooms itself by one of the library's shelves, and Joe Diamond gets a free move into the explored area. So everyone's taken an action. We'll go ahead and tell the app that it is the mythos phase. A horrible wail comes from beneath the floor. The voice of an elderly man whispers in your ear. It calls for help. Escape before it is too late! Each investigator suffers 2 face-down horror with their willpower negating. So Joe Diamond gets a will save of 3. And takes a no for Sister Mary has a willpower of 5 and takes no sanity loss or horror, and Mandy Thompson has a will of 3. She takes 1 face down horror. Back to where she was.